All right, Trace, I just sent that to you.
Okay, waiting on it to come through.
Hmm.
Okay, guys, we're good to go.
All right, you're live streaming and you can start the meeting.
This is Warren Lowe. Are you picking me up?
Yeah.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, I apologize. I'm not going to be able to join you by Zoom. The electricity in our building just went off about 10 minutes ago, and I'm without Wi-Fi. I see two electrical trucks outside, so I'll participate by phone. So are we ready to identify the participants today?
Yes, sir, you're ready.
Call the meeting to order. Okay, this is Warren Lowe in Lafayette.
Chris Rochelle in Thibodeau.
Rob Dames in New Orleans.
Darla Burnett in Baton Rouge.
Do we have anyone else?
Just give it a second. We have Dr. Alley joining now.
Okay.
You can identify yourself, Dr. Alley.
Hi, this is Glenn Alley. I'm not seeing anyone. I'm hearing. Ah, there you go. Saw
Okay.
someone.
Any other participants with us today?
Susie Allen from the board.
Okay. Anyone else? Are there any members of the public present today? Okay, has everyone seen the agenda?
Yes.
Okay. Any changes to the agenda?
Dr. Lowe, we would just ask that you table the minutes from your August 26, 2022 meeting to the next advisory committee meeting that you have.
Okay. Can we have a motion about that?
So
To
moved.
table the
I'll move.
minute?
Yeah, second by
Okay.
Glenn.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Where did he go? He disappeared.
Hey, who?
Well,
left?
remember he said there was something going on at his office. They had lost power and everything. Saw some electrical trucks outside.
Yes, we know, but I didn't think it would affect his cell phone.
Short batteries. Short batteries.
Yeah, I know.
Dr. Van, I made you co-host if you wanted to upload the agenda. I think we still have a quorum if they want to continue.
Okay. Let's see. This is the August. That's the wrong. I'll upload the agenda just a second. Give me a minute. We lost. See if you can call Dr. Lowe on his cell phone and tell him we've lost him.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna call him right now, Dr. Van.
Thank you very much. All right.
He didn't answer, Dr. Van.
Okay, well, I guess his phone must be dead. All right, so I'll put the agenda up, and Glenn, why don't you take over the meeting as soon as I put the agenda up? I'm sorry, we're having trouble.
Okay, I have the agenda in front of me, so I can see what's going on here.
All right, just give me a second to make this a little bit more readable to y'all. Can everybody read that?
I don't see anything. Are you sharing your screen?
I thought I was,
Nothing
but
to
if I'm
read.
not, let me just get it again. Should see it now.
There we
There
go.
we are. Yeah.
Can you read it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
great. Okay, Glenn. Well, yeah, we
Okay.
have a quorum. We've lost Warren, but we have a quorum. You can move on.
All righty. I assume that we've already called the meeting to order, and the next motion was to dispense with the reading of the minutes until the next meeting. That was passed. The next thing I have on the agenda is identification of participants. I think we've all identified ourselves, have we not?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we can move on to any public comments.
Okay, just to make sure everybody knows, public comments can be made by emailing to publiccomment@lsbme.la.gov, and I'll be watching the incoming email if anybody has any.
Okay, sounds like a winner. So if anything comes up, we will address that as it comes up spontaneously. Next is old business. Again, approval of minutes we've dispensed with until next meeting. Any other old business? Hearing none. Do we have any licensees for advanced practice to move into executive session?
None that came from the licensing.
Okay,
We've asked
So,
and they
let's
didn't have
move-
any.
okay. So we'll dispense with executive session. New business, LSBEP supervision of psychology licensure candidates. Van, you want to address that to begin with, and then I'll chime in as we go?
No, you go ahead and start, because we're going to sit on the
Okay.
side and do what you guys want to do.
Okay,
They know-
well, I'm not quite, I think this was Warren's item that he put on the
Yeah.
agenda. As some of you may know, LSBEP has attempted to suggest that medical psychologists cannot supervise potential licensees and suggest that the only way that medical psychologists should be able to supervise potential licensees is by being licensed also with LSBEP. We've kind of disputed that. It's been a long-standing practice that medical psychologists have been able to supervise provisional licensees and potential licensees. We're not talking about individuals already licensed, but those who are provisional and those who are potential licensees. We've had meetings with LSBEP, LSBME, LAMP, a number of folks. The attorneys were involved with this, and the bottom line is the LSBEP backed off of that policy that they were attempting to put forward. However, Warren indicated to me that another supervisee had his provisional status sort of wasn't turned down, but said that they could not approve his provisional proposal because he was being supervised or intended to be supervised by a medical psychologist. They are not saying that they will not approve him, but they're not approving the pre-proposal. So they're not getting into the game of saying we're not going to approve you if you have been supervised by a medical psychologist, but we can't approve the proposal. So that's where we're getting stuck with this, okay? Now, the last attempt they made to pass some rules, when I say they, I mean LSBEP, attempted to pass a lengthy set of rules along with many other professional associations. And in that, they had attempted to suggest that only psychologists licensed under their statute could supervise. We were able to insert into that medical psychologists could supervise. Revised statute 372356.2, paragraph 6, going down to section D. It reads as follows after our insertion. A provisional psychologist shall maintain a relationship with a licensed psychologist or a medical psychologist licensed in accordance with 37-1360.51, etc., for the purposes of clinical supervision. The supervising psychologist or medical psychologist shall have legal functioning authority over the professional activities of the provisional licensed psychologist. So I think that's kind of pretty clear that we are able to supervise, but again, LSBEP is raising this issue one more time. So I don't know how LAMP wants to address this or Warren wants to address this, but I think we'll need to address it one more time.
May I ask a question real quick, Glenn?
Sure. Sure. Oh, absolutely.
Were those rules passed? The ones you just
Yes.
quoted?
Yes, the rules were passed. Exactly.
Excellent.
This is the statute now. That's coming directly from the statute.
Wait a
So-
minute, rules and statutes are two different things. And laws are the statutes.
Right.
And you quoted a 37 colon something, and that's a statute.
Yes,
That's a law, not a
37
rule.
Right. So if it's a
37
law,
Right. Go ahead.
so if it's a law, if it
Mhm.
is a law that has been passed, then what can LSBEP say, or how can they say no to a law, to a statute?
I'm at a loss to explain that, but I do know LSBEP has been for quite a long time now wanting to get medical psychologists licensed under their board once again. It doesn't behoove us to do that at this point in time. We're again risking two licensures, we're risking two exposures of liability. It just doesn't make sense for us. However, having said that, some medical psychologists do maintain two licenses under both boards. That's
I understand
entirely,
that.
yeah,
I understand that part. But I
entirely
mean, I guess I'm
Yeah.
just, if it's a law and it's been passed,
Right.
It seems
Right.
like what we need to simply say is if this is a law that has been
Mhm.
passed, then medical psychologists, as per the law that was passed, have supervisory capacity for
Correct.
medical psychology candidates.
correct.
Well,
And- Go ahead.
well, I'm sorry, I'm back.
Warren's
on
back.
now. I'm back.
Welcome back.
Glenn, breathe.
Electricity has been restored. I don't know where I was lost, but I was going to read a very brief letter from LSBEP to a psychologist who wanted to use an MP for supervisor. Did you all hear that?
No, we didn't hear that.
Okay.
We didn't hear the letter. And Warren, we need to qualify this. This is for psychologists who are submitting a proposal to LSBEP.
Yes, this is a
is
supervision proposal.
Yeah. Proposal. It's their attempt to say, this is what I want to do. And LSBEP is on the front end denying this. They're not denying it on the back end. They're denying it on the front end. Go ahead, Warren.
This letter says, very briefly, LSBEP has reviewed your supervised practice plan with a medical psychologist, which unfortunately was not approved. Dr. So-and-so, the MP, is not a licensed psychologist under jurisdiction of LSBEP. Thus, you're not eligible for a provisional license. The board does not pre-approve supervision relationships between an applicant, supervisee, and supervisor if the supervisor is not licensed under the jurisdiction of this board, that is LSBEP. However, the board will review and consider the acceptability of any supervised experience that is conducted under the licensing jurisdiction, such as the LSBME, on completion of the supervision and provided the supervision meets the requirements of the Louisiana Administrative Code. The supervisor will need to submit the postdoctoral supervision documentation form on completion of your supervision. So they're not denying that MPs can be supervisors of LSBEP potential licensees. But what they're saying is, we're not going to approve it ahead of time. We're not going to give you a provisional license. And we may not approve it after the fact, which is the only place we're going to review it. I'm only putting this on the agenda because I want everybody to be aware that this is the way they have sort of gotten around or made it difficult for MPs to supervise. You have to be, I think, a little risk inclined to have an MP supervise you, not knowing ahead of time that it's going to be approved, and it might not be approved. Plus, you give up your opportunity to be a provisional licensee. So I wasn't aware that this is what they were doing. I just want the MPAC to be aware that that's what they've sort of come up with to make this a difficult process for MP supervision. Any comments about it? I mean,
I
Lance,
still wonder, is that against the law? I mean, the law said that medical psychologists could supervise. And now they're saying, well, it's our right to say no. I thought the law said that it's
they're not
part of the
saying
law.
they're not saying no. They're saying we're not going to approve it ahead of time. And if we don't like the supervision plan after the fact, then we won't accept that supervision done by the MP. They're getting around it by following the law, but making it very difficult for MPs to supervise.
But they're preventing this person from obtaining a provisional license.
Yes.
So does LSBEP's laws regulate, do they have a separate requirement for provisional license that doesn't identify medical psychologists?
No, not that I'm aware of, Chris. I don't think that LSBME is concerned with provisional licensed psychologists. Okay. The only thing that LSBME is concerned with is that the psychologist at some point in time is licensed by LSBEP in order to apply for the MP with
Gotcha.
LSBME.
Okay.
So the only thing we are concerned with as MPAC is if the candidate is licensed through LSBEP. How they got that, we don't care. Okay, as long as they have that license to apply.
And if,
Now, I'm sorry, Darla, go ahead.
I was just like, because I was probably most recently from any of us on the psychology board. I was on the board when they created the provisional license. And the reason they created it was because there are many institutions that a supervisory psychologist, when they're being supervised for licensure, needs to work where they can't bill if they don't have some type of licensure. So the provisional license was created for that purpose. And the pre-approved supervised practice plan is in place so people can have a guarantee of sorts that they're not going to waste a year of supervision and then the board not approve it.
But Darla, was this in effect when you were on the board?
Yeah.
This-
Oh, when
that-
I was on the board, we approved many medical psychologists, including Chris, to supervise people.
But it wasn't done after the fact.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
the approval was granted initially when the plan was submitted.
I can't remember exactly if we did pre-approved plans, but I know we probably did at least one in the 5 years I was on the board, but I can't remember exactly.
Okay. Well, this will eventually fall to LAMP, and LAMP will have to decide what and if they want to try to remedy this some way.
So for impact, is our best course of action just to monitor this particular case to make sure that they actually approve this person when the supervision is done?
Well,
Or are they
after
going
this,
to use that excuse that you were supervised by an MP to deny the license?
what I understand has happened in this particular case, Chris, is that this person, once they received this letter, decided it was not to their benefit, even though they liked the MP, had a relationship with him. It was not to their advantage to risk losing that year
Right.
of supervision and the opportunity to have a
I
provisional.
don't blame that person for doing that.
I don't either.
Of course.
Yeah.
I would not, I wouldn't risk it if it were me in that position.
Right.
So is there
that's-
any course of action for impact in this case?
I don't think so.
I don't think there's anything that we need to do. I mean, you know, as Warren said, I think this is going to have to come from LAMP at some point in time if they want to address it. And from my perspective, you know, I hesitate at this point in time to open up our statute for any revisions. But at some point in time, we may have to do that and try and make some clarification there. We can't undo their statute, or we can wait for an opportunity if they try to revise their statute to amend their statute or rules, which we have done in the past. I'm speaking for LAMP now and not necessarily the impact. Okay, that's something that LAMP will have to consider and have to look at to address. But as an impact, our responsibility is to enforce the statutes or the laws or interpret them as they are on the books now.
I'm not keeping up as much with their board since I'm not licensed by them anymore, but don't they have something coming up with, they're going to need to open up their law because they're trying to add some fees for supervision and psychological assistance?
Right. They will have to open up their statute, and that's what, you know, for, again, speaking for LAMP here, we're going to discuss with Bud what options we have at that point.
Gotcha.
Van, is there a corollary to this on the medical board? Would LSBME ever approve a supervisor that was not licensed by LSBME? Do you know of any such situation?
Not that I'm aware of. Basically, for example, all of the supervising physicians for PAs have to be licensed in Louisiana, and all of the collaborative practice agreements are supposed to be with physicians in Louisiana. And if we get a complaint or we ever do an audit and we find any, we would deal with it. But to my knowledge, they may be licensed in Louisiana and living someplace and doing it by telemedicine. That's a whole other issue. But to my knowledge, no.
Okay. I mean, I don't I certainly see LSBP's position on this. And I see our position also. I just don't know how we resolve it. That's up to LAMP. Okay, can we move on? Anybody have anything else about this?
Van, any comments from the public?
Let me double check. I haven't seen any, but I will check again. One moment. No, sir, none yet.
All righty.
All right, the next item on the agenda is the replacement of the MPAC physician member. As you know, Dr. Blackburn, who's been our physician member since the inception of the committee, resigned at the end of last year because of health reasons, and he's also retiring. So LAMP had a potential nominee for this physician member position. Glenn, has anything happened on that?
Yes, he is on the call as we speak.
Oh, okay.
That's me. That's
Oh,
me.
okay. Good. Well, so are you officially on the committee?
That's my understanding. Yes,
I
sir.
believe-
He is now,
Good. Nice to meet you.
Rock,
Well, I thought I
Rock,
was
what
getting
introduce
replaced
yourself?
within 1 week and never having made a meeting when I saw that on the agenda. I figured somebody read my
Rock,
resume and said, not that guy.
Rob, you want to introduce yourself to Warren?
So the board has acted.
Yes, yes.
Great.
Yes,
Okay.
been duly sworn in and.
Good. That shows how informed I am. The other item that I wanted to add has to do with how applications that we review and that the board ultimately approves, how the applicants get information on the status of their application. Can you help me with that, Van, or somebody help me with that? I raised this issue after our last meeting and in an email, and never got an answer. I began to get emails from people whose applications we reviewed asking for the status of their application. And I again sent an email to inquire what the process was, and I never got an answer. And I just got 2 more emails that people are impatient, and I understand that. They should have some notification, but I don't know what the process is.
All right, well, first of all, for the problem cases you're getting, forward those emails to me or ask anybody who stops you in the hallway that you can just say, email me directly and I'll look into the licensing matter. While you are free to know what's going on, we really are urging you all to stay out of it because I don't want you to get in any position where somebody might say you gave them something they should not have known about. No,
Yeah, and I did
yeah.
not respond to any of those inquiries except to say I would check into those.
Well, just tell them all to contact me and forward the emails to me and I'll address them. Now, let's go how the process actually works.
Okay.
Everybody who has an application with our agency has what's called a licensee portal, a portal. They can sign into that portal any time of the day or night, 24 hours, 24/7, and see the status of their application. Additionally, they would be able to tell who they've been corresponding with, because they get emails. Now, one of the big problems we have with emails, and I'm just going to tell you, is they change emails after they file their initial application. Well, if they don't tell us, we're sending it back to the wrong email. So that's why we urge them to check in their portal, update their portal, and make sure it stays current. Now, our licensing analysts do try and answer all of their emails every day. Sometimes it just gets a little crazy, but by and large, they do answer all of their emails every day. And I think the key to us understanding the problem is that many times, we have people that we ask for information and we don't get it. Now, I can't talk about any specifics because I don't know. But as I look at the data, we don't have a large number of medical psychologists that are waiting. And so all I can tell you is I'll address anybody that calls me up. I'll help them any way I can. Warren, if you got somebody that you have a name or forward those emails, I'll address them. But the big
Okay.
thing is we really need them to work with our licensing people to make sure it gets done.
So for example, Van, on our last meeting, I think there were 6 applications. We approved 4 and 2 of them were deferred.
That should have been sent to licensing. I'll have to look. You caught me caught flat-footed about this. I will look into it, make sure it gets done. And, we'll make sure we get it done right. I don't know exactly what happened, but I can't tell.
I just wanted to know the process in case I was supposed to be doing something that I dropped the ball on.
No, if anybody dropped the ball, it's us. And only way I know is when I get the complaint and I start looking into the licensee. And without the name and that kind of stuff, I can't really address them. So that's why if you send me the email, I'll go ahead.
I will send you the emails. And so for just as an example, just because I'm a slow learner, one of these people that was deferred last time would have been notified of their deferment and their deficiency by licensing.
I would have hoped so, but if we didn't get it to them, that could be an administrative issue. If it got to them and it got lost, it could be their issue.
Okay.
We're trying to, again, I really have to look into the specifics of the case to give you the answer on that situation.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I will
So
send
Van,
those emails.
Van, as far as how they get access to the portal or how to access the portal, is they're sent an initial email about that?
No, as soon as they try to make an initial application, they have to establish a portal. And it tells
Part
them
of
when
the
you,
required process.
yeah, you can't
Okay.
get to the application page until you
Ah.
establish a portal.
Okay.
So once you establish a portal, and then you can get into the application process. Once you finish now everything, all of our applications have moved to electronic. So when you finish the electronic application, you have to pay and submit. And at that point, it starts the processing in our agency. We just really have had to stop processing paperwork for people who don't pay. We just don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And so we have taken that position, and it's the only way we can operate right now. So quite frankly, once they get the initial application done and have paid, they start getting emails back. And so if they tell us the wrong email address, but what we see happening in some fields, some of the other licensees, and I haven't looked at yours specifically, but I will when I get the names, people will start an application and not finish it and think that it's done because they didn't pay. And so then they call us up and say, what's going on with my application? And we say, well, we don't have an application for you because you didn't pay. So then they pay. Then we start sending them emails, and then they call us back and say, well, I haven't heard back from the agency. Did you change the email address? That's the first thing we always ask, and most commonly that's the biggest problem. They've changed their email address, so then we get the right email address. And so that's why we tell everybody to use the portal, keep the portal current, and we can get the best expeditious motion of things.
So a good general response if we're stopped in the hall is go back, check your portal. That's where you submitted the initial application, and you should be able to see the status.
Right. There's called a deficiency page or a status page that they can see. And then always and every time any email they get from us is going to come from, and this sometimes scares a little people, and you may want to share this if they get nervous. The computer responds with an email address of lasbme.la.gov, but our people are lsbme.la.gov. So sometimes, and I've even had some of our physicians call me up and say, listen, I think I'm being hacked. Somebody wants to get to me from LA SBME. And I said, no, that's our computer trying to reach you. But nonetheless, I think the key is get them to me if somebody's got a specific problem, and I'll do my very best to handle it as fast as we can.
Okay, I'll send you those emails and the names of the people that we approved and the two that we found deficiencies in.
Okay, great.
All right, next item on the agenda is, well, we have to go into executive session. We're going to talk about the MP rules.
Let me ask a question before we do that, Warren. Olivia or Jacinta, are you on the meeting, and are you taking minutes, or do I have to take minutes, or what's going on here?
Well, we got we're on they're on the meeting. We're being recorded and everything. And if you want to submit the minutes to us, we'll make sure they reflect everything we have accurate. We can correct any questions you have because we have the recordings of all the meetings.
Okay, but I mean, someone's taking the minutes. I don't have to take them. Is that correct?
Olivia, are you doing that?
Yes, I have them right now.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, motion to go into executive session.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, give us a few seconds and we'll be moving you over.
Okay, thank you.
Warren, if you're on a phone, you may not be able to get over.
Nothing much seems to be happening.
Most people are being moved right now.
Yeah, it takes a minute. If you see something at the bottom of the screen that says leave room, you can click on it. It'll make it quicker.
We just have leave, but we don't have leave room. Let me check. It doesn't allow us to leave room, Jacinta.
We're back.
Hey, Warren, we can see you now.
Hey,
Hey. Unfortunately, everyone can see me too, and I'm covered in poison ivy. So,
Oh, I can see it on your.
well, I wasn't going to discuss your medical condition for HIPAA reasons, but since you let the cat out of the bag,
Warren knows I chose to volunteer.
Liv.
Yes.
Olivia,
Yep,
I'm
I'm
gonna
here.
stick you in there just to make sure that it's not live streaming and then just exit and come back here for a minute.
Okay.
Is it fine?
Yeah, it's fine. It doesn't say live on it. No.
Stop moving you back to room 2, Lou. You came back, I put you in 2, so you could be with them.
It said it popped me into room 1, and then immediately once I was in 1, it brought me back here. I don't know why.
Oh, well, looks like you're stuck with me.
That's fine.
Liv, if you hit the join button on the box by your name, you can probably join.
Let's see. Where's- Let me go back. See if I can do this.
Some of us made it.
Still here, but I'm gonna go. Good evening.
Bye-bye.
I see anything.
Doesn't look like Warren made it yet.
I think he probably hit that leave meeting.
You leave everything, but
He left the whole meeting button.
Oh, please don't say that.
no, we're almost. We're waiting to see if Warren makes it back. I don't know that he will.
Let me see if he's trying to get in. No, I don't know. I can't see if he's trying to get in right now.
He's not. I'm monitoring it from this end.
Okay, thank you, Jacinta. I wonder if he had another power failure at his office. God bless him.
Something going on.
I don't know that there's anything else on the agenda, is there?
No, sir.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Let me double check the email, make sure we don't have anybody who has tried to send us a public comment. Look in the junk mail, make sure there's nothing in junk mail. No, sir, we have no public comment at this time.
All righty. Well, in the absence, any other business, any other information, any other comments that we need to address?
Well, we certainly thank all of you for your participation.
Hearing none. Yeah, thank you guys for coming in and spending your time with us and giving your expertise. So
All righty,
if there
have
are
a
no
great
further
day.
business,
Okay, thank
I will
you.
move that we adjourn.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. See
ya.
y'all
See you
later.
soon.
Hello, Dr. Cloudman.
Bye. Okay, Windsor.